basically to work, to get money, everything. Just 17 minutes for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have in the hadith narrations which say, divide your time into 3 sections. فساعة لربك وساعة لمضمون الحديث لرزقك وساعة لشهوتك. في مضمون الحديث طبعا. He says, the hadith that divide your time into 3 sections. 1 is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala worship, 1 is for your income and work, and 1 for your desires and lusts and the halal shahwah. So Allah just wants, and that doesn't mean it's 8 hours, it's just to divide your time. You know, you have the salat, dhuhr, it's on time, we pray on time, fully, subuh also, and maghrib and isha. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the first demander. He wants from us the obligatory acts, al-fara'id. Who is the second demander? ثانيا والنبي صلى الله عليه وآله صلوا على محمد وآله.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وآله بالسنة. The Prophet demanded his sunnah, to practice his sunnah. Now the sunnah has 3 meanings. The first meaning of sunnah is the Islam itself. The whole Islam is the sunnah, because he brought the Sharia and the Islam. So the sunnah is the Islam itself. Second meaning of the sunnah is the desirable acts, mustahabbat, salat al-layl and so forth. The third meaning of the sunnah is what the Prophet made obligatory, because we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to hadith, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ila Rasulullah ad-din. He told him, you can, because we believe in the wilayat al-tashri', wilayat al-tashri' wal-takween. He has the authority over the universe and over the Sharia. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has a delegation from Allah to make the Sharia as well, to add something. And that's why in Salat al-Dhuhr and Asr and Isha, he added the 3rd and the 4th. Of course, by Allah's permission, of course. The 3rd and the 4th rak'ah was added by Rasulullah. So that's the sunnah. The 1st and 2nd by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the 3rd and 4th by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa. So the sunnah, that we have to follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa. Mustahabbat, to follow Islam as a whole, and to follow the sunnah of Rasulullah means to follow the part of Ahlul Bayt salamun alayhim. That's part of it. It's very shame for those who believe to be Muslims, They say the hadith, you hear this in their sermons in Jum'ah, other Jum'ah. They say, Kitab Allah wa Sunnati Ahl Bayti. They stick with it. And the problem that they stick with the hadith which was related by, I think, Malik and Muwatta. And the other books, they relate as wa Ahl Bayti wa Itrati. But they stick with the hadith which is he related in his book, just to keep Ahl Bayt away from this position, as their ancestors, the rulers, kept away Ahl Bayt from their position. So when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi bis-sunnah. What else? Number 3, wal-'iyalu bil-qut. Your family, they need qut. Qut means something to eat and drink. They need food and drink. الزوجة والأولاد, they are wajib al-nafaqah. The wife and the kids are wajib al-nafaqah, wajib to spend on them. Why some people keep their money, they save it to buy, I don't know, land in Iraq or somewhere else. You are wajib al-nafaqah, you have to spend on them. And hadith talk about the tawsi' on the iyal is to, spend more and more on the family. If you want to be zahid, fine, you be zahid, you be humble, don't eat too much, don't spend on clothing. But for your kids, spend, wife, spend, let her go to the holiday, and so forth. وَالْعِيَالِ بِالْقُوتِ. See, the Imam brought it within one of the demands, which is important. The family, we have to spend on them. If you have money, of course. If you don't have them, that's a different story. If you have to spend on them. In the hadith, I remember I read it just a few days ago, that the Imam says, if I go and buy meat for my family, it's better for me than freeing a slave. And freeing a slave in that time was expensive to free a slave. You buy it, I don't know, 100 dinars of gold, less or more. And it was expensive to free them. And it has a great thawab because you're freeing a human being from slavery. So the Imam says, I would bring meat, and it's better for me to free a slave. So it's important that we be a bit generous to our family as well. Forget business, accumulating wealth. Where would it go? You accumulated on land, you bought land, you have a big hisab in your account in the bank. Then la samhallah, something happens, you die, and the money goes. Allah knows where. To the waratha or to the inheritors or. صلوا على محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Number 4, the fourth demander. Now we come to the negative side of the demanders. We had now the positive, now the negative sides. Number 4, والنفس بالشهوة. نفس الأمارة بالسوء. The inner self-deception, the inner self, the evil inner self, asks you for haram, the shahwa haram. Because the human being has 3 enemies. الشيطان, devil, النفس الأمارة بالسوء, second enemy, العدو الثاني, والمجتمع الفاسد, and the corrupt society. 3 enemies every day fight this human being. And you have to challenge, you're in a challenge, big challenge, as a mu'min. So نفس الأمارة بالسوء, yours. الشهوة, الحرام شهوة. Either it's money, it's women, it's pride in being in a tribe or in a position or in a political position. But that's the situation. والنفس بالشهوة. So you have to push away the haram, ignore it, neglect it. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said when he came back to the ashab from one of the battles, he said, we came back from the jihad al-azhar, now we start the jihad al-akbar. I said, Ya Rasulullah, what is jihad al-akbar? We just came from a battle, bloody battlefield, the heads being cut off, hands being chopped. He said, jihad al-nafs. The most difficult jihad is jihad al-nafs. And the hadith says, أعدى عدوك نفسك التي بين جنبيك. The most dangerous enemy is your inner self. It's difficult to combat yourself. The minute that person becomes a hakim, finish. One of the hukam in time of Bani Umayyah, I think it was Abdul Malik bin Marwan. They used to call him, la'anahullah, Hamamatul Masjid. He used to come to the masjid to pray for hours and hours, never leave the mosque. When they came to him and said, okay, your father died, okay, now you're the Khalifa of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Take the hukum. He was in the Quran. He closed the Quran and he said, هذا فراق بيني وبينك. Finish. I don't want you anymore. Hukum. And the same problem now. They used to be our friends. Now in Iraq are falling in the same situation. هذا فراق بين وبين التشيع. Not only Islam. He doesn't even have even humanity. Not even the religion, even humanity. All is gone. والنفس بالشهوة. And then والشيطان باتباعه. Second enemy. والشيطان باتباعه. Another demander is the shaitan, is the devil. He comes and he does the waswasa. He does the waswasa in order to deceive and bring. He gets more supporters. And when they all fall into the haram, he says, إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِنْكَ إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. So long, goodbye. Leave me alone. You were the cause. You should have been careful, vigilant. So we have to be careful. وَالشَّيْطَانُ بِاتِّبَاعِهِ. Once, interesting story about Sheikh Al-Ansari. He had of course, our ulama lived in a poverty. So he had his wife was giving birth. And on that night, she had pains and so forth. He had no money to bring, somebody, that midwife to actually give her the birth. So he was in a bad situation. He had, of course, Baytul Mal, the Huquq Shari'ah and so forth. He wanted to go and get the money, but he said, it's not my money. I can't basically use the money. One of his students saw in the dream that Shaitan is in the middle there with different ropes and chains, thick chains and narrow ropes and thick ropes. He said to him, what are these? That student. He said, these are ropes I attract and pull the mu'mineen towards myself, deceive them. He saw a very thick chain of metal being broken. He said, what is this one? It's broken. He said, this is for Sheikh Ansari. I tried to pull him last night, but he challenged me. I couldn't. He was so strong. He said, okay, which of these ropes you use for me? I'm a student, talab, mu'min, najaf, and so forth. I study. He said, you don't need anything. I just say, come to me. And he just run towards me. Na'udhu billah. Some people, they don't need even the call of shaitan. They go for the shaitan.
That's right. That's right.
Sallu ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
The sixth demander, وَالْحَافِظَانِ بِصِدْقِ الْعَمَلِ. The two angels, they need honesty in our deeds. They don't show off or fame. صدق العمل. To be honest in our deeds. وَالْحَافِظَانِ بِصِدْقِ الْعَمَلِ. Then it comes وَمَلَكَ الْمَوْتِ وَالرُّوحِ. He's waiting outside. Watching.
Maybe inside.
Inside, yes. We have a hadith that the Malak al-Maut enters into the house of the mu'mineen